Good afternoon. Today I'll be talking to you about hazards, both natural and ecological hazards. We'll be analysing the nature, impacts on humans, and the human impact on hazards, and then we'll be looking at managing hazards. Introduction to natural hazards. Natural hazards are natural events that threaten humans, property, and other assets humans care about. They can be very catastrophic at times and can harm many things that us humans care about. There are 6 different categories of natural hazards. There is seismic, atmospheric, wildfires, volcanic, geologic, and hydrologic. Seismic hazards include earthquakes, tsunamis, fault ruptures, and ground shakes. Atmospheric hazards include lightning strikes, hurricanes, hailstorms, and tornadoes. Types of wildfires include forest, grass, brush, and savanna. Volcanic hazards include pyroclastic flow, tephra, lava projectiles, and lateral blasts. Geological hazards include landslides, lahars, and rockfalls. Some of these natural hazards interact with each other. Say, for example, tsunamis involve water and may fit under the hydrologic category, but what created the tsunami is important, whether it is an earthquake or a volcano. Natural hazards. Nature of natural hazards. Natural hazards are very hard for scientists to predict because they happen at random. Scientists are able to predict when they are going to happen minutes before the actual incident, but they can't predict a volcano or earthquake a week prior to when it actually happens. Scientists in New Mexico over the years have been able to monitor the earthquakes and tremors. By monitoring this, they are able to learn more about the way they happen, what leads up to the quake, and when they happen. These all can be helpful with predicting when and where the hazard will happen for the future. The impact of natural hazards on humans. Natural hazards are very destructive, whether it be by earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, or hurricanes. They will destroy anything that lies in their path. So their impact on us is huge. The aftermath of natural hazards also affect us. Volcanoes especially have other impacts on the environment around them and can range their range can differ from countries around the world. Let's take a volcano that happened in Iceland, E15, also known as Eyjafjallajökull. This was an earthquake that erupted several times. This was a volcano that erupted several times over the course of a few months during 2010. The ashes and smoke travelled with the help of wind currents all the way to Europe. Europe then had to cancel over 100,000 flights because of the quality of air, because of the inability to see through the ash. Effects can be seen even thousands of kilometres away as well. All the trade lines from Europe and abroad all got cancelled. This meant that the trading that went through from Kenya to countries in Europe were all down for about 4 days, majorly affecting the economy of the countries. So good food supplies was just waiting to be taken, but were rotting at the doorstep of the airport. Kenya also produces a lot of flowers, so those all died alongside the vegetables and other good supplies. The human impact of natural hazards. Scientists believe that climate change and the increase in temperature may affect the intensity of tropical storms and the frequency of them. They say that the precipitation can come in one big storm rather than lots of small ones. Warmer oceans that heat up away from the equator may expand to reach a big tropical storm. But Kerry Emanuel, a professor of tropical meteorology and climate in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's program, say that there isn't much evidence to support these ideas, but must keep an eye on it for the future. Managing natural hazards. Humans can't do much with reducing can't do much about reducing natural hazards, but there are certain emergency policies that humans use all over the world with recovering from natural hazards. There are 4 categories that include in these policies, including mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Mitigation involves communities doing as much as they can to reduce the effect of natural hazards on the environment. Preparedness involves removing masses of body from the natural hazards path, including evacuating before the threat of the hurricane hits your town or suburb. Response is when the community works together to save lives, treat injuries, and reduce property damage. Recovery is the way in which a community repair and can reconstruct what has been damaged by or lost in the disaster. All are key to managing a natural hazard. Ecological hazards. Ecological hazards is defined as anything from relations with other animals or humans, the immediate environment, or relations between animals or humans and the environment that poses danger or harm. Ecological hazards and environmental hazards are very similar. Environmental hazards include anything affected by chemical, biological, or physical agents. This may include pollution and oil spills. A famous and recent oil spill shows the amount of oil that was spilled in the oceans. This oil spill is the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. It happened off the Gulf of Mexico. The impact of environmental hazards. There is a big impact on the environment when it comes to ecological and environmental hazards. Oil spills is one of the big impacts because the oil can be toxic to certain animals. The effects that this has on the environment is big. In California, along the Huntington Beach, there was a lot of effect of the oil spill that happened in October of last year. 572,807 liters of oil spilled into the ocean, affecting and killing many fish and birds of the environment. Fish and other animals have washed up either dead or dying with excessive amounts of oil all over them. This means that all the animals that feed on those dead animals also get affected because they don't have any food for them to eat. So if the oil spills affect one part of an ecosystem, the fish of the ocean and the birds of the sea, birds of the air, and the whole ecosystem feels the damage and can be majorly influenced by it. Oil chemicals can really affect the environment, being the cause of death for many surface dwelling by poisoning and suffocating. Fish are the one of the main victims as a result of oil spills. Fish eggs are amongst those most affected, because with the oil comes to the coastline where all the fish eggs are, the eggs die and wipe out. Human impact on ecological hazards. Humans have a big impact on ecological hazards. Oil spills is one of the main obvious ones because humans are what cause the oil spill, or a part of the oil spill. Because we are carrying boats filled with sometimes more than 454,609 liters of oil in them. The boat will then crash or something may happen to it, and all the oil will spill into the oceans and it is left to the humans to tidy it up. Managing ecological hazards. When an oil spill happens in an ocean, humans have to be aware and have to react quickly to clean up as much as possible because of the effects it has on the environment. Many fish and birds can die from being covered by the oil. The way humans clean up the oil spills is through either dispersing, burning, or skimming. In skimming, they have to clean up the assistance of booms and boats in order to keep control of where the oil is going so that they can suck it up and get rid of it. Burning is where it happens where they set fire to the oil to burn it off. Dispersing happens when they invent chemicals that disperse the oil into droplets and then make it easier for the oceans to cycle through or for the humans to clean it up. These ways of cleaning up the oil is most effective way to clean up the oil without affecting the environment as much as possible. Hazards have a massive impact on the environment, humans, and assets humans care about. Natural hazards include anything ranging from seismic, atmospheric, wildfires, volcanic, geologic, and hydrologic. These categories all have about 4 to 5 different natural hazards under them. Many lives can be lost, and scientists believe that about 140 million lives are affected by natural hazards each year. Climate change can have an influence on natural hazards as the intensity of storms could be increased with the rise of temperature and the amount of water in the oceans. Managing natural hazards include mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. These all work together to notice the hazard, evacuate themselves, gather what is damaged, and then recover from what has happened. Ecological hazards involve pollution to the air and oil spills. These all have effect on us and the environment around us. The impact that ecological hazards have on humans isn't as big as natural hazards. Oil spills really affect the environment with the loss of animals. Humans then have to clean up the mess, the oil spill. They do this by either burning, skimming, or dispersing. We do have an impact on the environment hazards because we created a hazard, the oil spill. We are the ones that risk it every time we take hundreds of thousands of liters across the water. Hazards have a big effect on us, the environment, and the assets we care about. Natural hazards have a bigger effect than others. Ecological hazards have a big impact on the animals that live in the areas affected by ecological hazards. Thank you.